And welcome to Courtside Countdown. I'm your host, Kendra Douglas. Thank you for joining me tonight. We want you guys to just lock in because we have a great game tonight. I think if anyone is paying attention to social media and everything going on, Paulo Banchero is back. We are excited to see him return. We are excited to see him get back on the court. And I am excited to interact with you, the fans, to talk all things Paulo Banchero, this Orlando Magic team, and how they're going to get ready tonight for tonight's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. First, a little housekeeping situations. I want you guys to get involved with me in this conversation. This is about you. Courtside Countdown is all for you. So please join the chat. Talk to me. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to know? What do you want to hear? Also, make sure excuse me, make sure that you guys subscribe to the Orlando Magic YouTube page so you can continue to be in the know about everything going on with the Orlando Magic. So let's get this party started. Let's get off saying with Paulo Banchero back in action. He's been out since October 30th, back in that Chicago game with a right torn oblique. We've been hearing him and we've been able to talk with him yesterday. He talks a little bit about what he learned, what he's, getting ready for and what he's excited for. I'm excited because hopefully you guys will be able to see him out on the court soon. So, getting excited about all that. Again, please join in the conversation. Let's get to last night's game. So, the Magic, they are coming off a second night of a back-to-back. Tonight is the second night of the back-to-back. They played last night here at the Kia Center against the Timberwolves, and it was a game that definitely this Magic team is going to want to forget going into this game tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. When you look at just what happened in that one, and before we get to that one and talking about it, they weren't capitalizing or forcing the Timberwolves in a ton of turnovers and allowed them to get 20-second chance points. The Magic fell in this one 104 to 89. For the Timberwolves, it was Julius Randle who led Minnesota with 23 points. Anthony Edwards scored 21. Rudy Gobert had 10 points and 12 rebounds. For the Magic, Goga Bitadze, who led this one with 15. Caleb Houston scored 14. KCP had 13, and Cole Anthony had 12 in that game. Head coach Jamal Mosley kind of talked after about how this Magic team wasn't able to really just capitalize in the moments that they needed to. As you can see from our graphic up here, just what happened. 47 rebounds compared to the 50, the assists, and then also the points. Just a really hard moment. And I think what the Timberwolves did so well is they were able to get to the line quicker. And that was something that really hurt this Magic team. Their free throws, they really capitalized on that. But head coach Jamal Mosley did speak after the game, and he talked about that loss. And let's listen to what he had to say and just how this Magic team could possibly use that so they can bounce back in tonight's game.
I think that first quarter got us. I think there was just a lull to the game. We didn't have the energy that we needed to come out. A back and forth early. We couldn't put the ball in the hole. I think that was a big portion of it. But like we've talked about, we can't let the offense shot making or misses impact our defense. And I think that was a big portion of that first quarter. Just trying to generate that energy with the group of guys. We defend, we play physical, we play aggressive. I think we weren't allowed to do a little bit of that tonight. Now they were. And so I think that was a little bit of some of the disparity in that regard. But, we have to be better at it and adjust accordingly as the game is going on.
So hopefully this Magic team will take what they learned from the Timberwolves game and be able to bring it to tonight's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Overall, just super excited to see this team get back into action to really just capitalize on the mistakes and be able to grow from those mistakes. Really big moment. So again, want you guys to continue to get in on the chat, be able to talk to us on this Magic YouTube page. You're watching Courtside Countdown on our Orlando Magic YouTube page, and hopefully we get to hear and see from you guys. I don't know. We might be having a little moment here. We're going to wait a little while just to see what happens, to see if I can get some of you guys to connect with me as we get ready to see Paulo Banchero enter back into the mix and be able to play with this Orlando Magic team. He's been out. He's missed more than 30 games. And so I know that the fans are excited and everyone is so ready to see Paulo Banchero back in action. Let's take a look at our injury, our injury report for the Orlando Magic and just who's been out, who's going to be out, who's going to continue to be out. And as you can see, you have Mo, who is going to be out. He's with a torn ACL. Jalen Suggs, he is going to be dated. He's going to be in a situation where it's responding to treatment because he has a lower back strain. And then, of course, Franz Wagner with the torn oblique. But we have Paulo Banchero, who is out here on the court now. Let's see if we can try to get some action of him, of Paulo Banchero, just with us in this moment. So good to see this guy back in action and what he's able to do. And it'll be so good to see Paulo just return to this moment, return for this team. We're so excited to see him back in action for this Magic squad. Again, he has been out. Thursday marked 2 months and a week since Paulo Banchero tore his right abdominal muscle in Chicago. He missed more than 30 games, but the Magic went 19-14 without him entering Thursday's game against the Timberwolves. What I think is amazing is that this Magic team has continued to stay strong in the East, and they've been able to really just dominate and be able to play without him. But so it'll be really good to have him back in the mix. Let's look at his numbers with his last 5 games that he was able to play. It's crazy to say 5 games that he was able to play. Oh, here we go. I love it. I love it. We have more people. Hello, you guys. I know. Glad to have Paulo back. I will see everyone call P5. What does the P stand for? Paulo. The P stands for Paulo. Dan Savage will join us, and we will listen to Dan Savage to talk a little bit. So let's talk about, Seth asked me any news on Franz. Still a torn right oblique. And then if you would be, and still a torn right oblique, but he is going to be out still. But it's good to see that Paulo Banchero is back in action. We showed the injury report just a little while ago. Jalen Suggs is still out with a back strain. Mo Wagner is out, torn ACL. Franz Wagner is out, right torn oblique. But it's good to see that Paulo Banchero is back in action. So continue to talk to me. Continue to just join in on this live chat. I want to be able to just connect with you guys. I want to be able to talk. This team has been good as they are with all the injuries. They should be the NBA story of the year. You're right. This Magic team should be the NBA story of the year with all the injuries that they have been going through with this team. It is amazing to see how they've been able to just continue to stay strong in the Eastern Conference and be able to continue to dominate. What I think is also interesting, and Dan Savage joins me actually now too. And Dan, as we're watching Paulo, he's still number 4 when it comes to all-star voting. How crazy is that to know that he is able to just be dominant when it comes to the all-star situation? What do you think it is? Is it a Paulo effect? What is it?
Well, I think people look at the effect he had early on the season and what he did last season, because all-star voting, let's face it, always carries over from the performance of the prior year. And he came out as dominant as any player in the league to start this season. I think fans appreciate that. And look, he's a very likable guy.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a new generation of Paulo fans start, and that journey starts again tonight.
What's this moment been like for all of us, for the fans? Tell us, what is this moment to see Paulo on the court, warming up, knowing he is available tonight?
It's highly anticipated. And look, this goes back to the work he's done endlessly with the Magic's performance staff. You look at the work he did with Arnie Cantor, and, remember when he was first doing little activities, even banging on drums
Yes.
on the practice court to fire up those oblique muscles, to all the way to now where he's doing on-court stuff and then prepping for the game. A lot of work went in behind the scenes, and I think you're going to see the dividends of that tonight.
I think you are too. And there's Paulo Banchero again out on the court. Magic fans, he's here. He's ready to get back into the action. We actually got to talk to him and catch up with him a little bit yesterday and just listen to what he had to say and what he had to talk about, the mentality, being able to just, be back in action for this Magic team. But how good is it to see that this team was able to continue to stay strong in the Eastern standings without him, and then eventually losing Jalen, eventually losing Franz as well?
I think that gives the rest of the group a lot of confidence, because you look at early in the season, Paulo Banchero had such a high usage rate, and then when he went out, Franz Wagner had such a high usage rate. It shows the rest of these guys that they can contribute and play at a high level, And I think that's going to pay dividends as those two guys come back on the court. That, look, these other guys can be heavily involved, and this team can still come out with victories.
I want to get to some questions real quick. Durango Doug said, has Anthony Black been nursing an injury? I expected more minutes from him. Actually, yes, he had a back injury too. So he has slowly been coming back and trying to work into the groove of things as well. So yes, he was kind of out for like, I think 1 or 2 games, but he is back in action tonight. And he's continuing to play for this Magic team. So yes, he has been someone that is dealing with some stuff. So many questions. So many. I love that you guys are all connecting with us right now. I hope that we can see the same energy in the arena when he comes out onto the court through the TV. I think so. I think you guys will be able to feel it in the court on TV as well. Sorry, I almost got sidetracked right there. I thought I was about to get hit with a basketball. It was close. I think you guys will be able to feel that energy tonight. But let's get back to this game. Tonight, the Magic will be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. They are taking on a dynamic duo in Giannis and Damian Lillard. But I want to actually look at excuse me, my brain just went crazy in that moment. I want to take a look at Giannis and just be able to talk about him a little bit because that matchup is going to be a big one going into tonight's game as well.
Yeah, Paulo, come back. Here's Giannis for you right off the bat. Easy peasy. Now, Giannis is averaging over 30 points a game, second in the NBA in scoring, and his sidekick, Damian Lillard, is stepping it up now as well.
Yeah.
So it's so dangerous because teams have to make the decision. Are you going to wall off Dame with the ball and leave Giannis 4-on-4 in transition, or are you going to take away Giannis and then let Dame cook? So that's a decision the Magic are going to have to make. I tend to think that Jamal Mosley, as he hinted towards in his pregame press conference, is going to opt to build a wall around Giannis, try to prevent him in transition, because this is a guy that's averaging over 20 points in the paint per game, which is just absolutely ridiculous. That's more than the majority of the league has on a given night.
It is. And then also when you look at Damian Lillard and what he's able to accomplish too, Giannis and Damian, those two continue to be a strong duo in the league, and they're dominant duos as well. They lead all duos in the league in points per game, and they're ranking 8th in total points scored this season. What does Damian Lillard in his second year with his team add to this Milwaukee Bucks group?
It just adds tremendous stress to your defense, because if you put all your assets and focus on taking Giannis away, you have a guy who's a multi-time All-Star, future Hall of Fame level player that can kill you on the other side.
Yeah.
And that goes without mentioning that this team now has Chris Middleton coming off the bench as he works his way back from injury. So they have a lot of assets, a lot of guys you have to account for. And if you have one of those guys on the court at all times, you have a lethal threat even when you're going to your bench to help balance the floor. And that's what the Bucks have, and that's what the Magic have to be prepared for on the second night of a back-to-back.
I know. And as you guys continue to go into the chat, please let me know, how do you guys think that this Magic team can stop this Milwaukee Bucks squad tonight? I want to hear your thoughts. How do you stop a Dame? How do you stop Giannis? Or how do you contain? I think that's the question. How do you contain? How do you limit Giannis? And how do you limit these guys going into tonight's game? So I love what you guys are saying so far. Can we talk about Goga? Of course we can talk about Goga. What has impressed you? Well, what has impressed you about him as of late? And then also, the last time that this Magic team saw Milwaukee was back for the in-season tournament. And that in alone was a game in itself that went down to the wire. AB had a good game. Jalen Suggs had a good game in that one. But back to Goga. What has impressed you about him as of late?
Well, if you're going to build a wall to stop Giannis,
He's the one.
Goga's going to be the last line of defense there. So it's going to be a lot about getting vertical tonight, not reaching in, going straight up. And look, you have to have a short memory. Giannis is going to score on you. The guy's the second leading scorer in the NBA. You're going to have fouls called against you because he's going to come flying in there and put you in awkward positions. You have to have a short memory, continue to provide a wall, and be vertical all night. And then you could have your best chance at success against Giannis.
I think it's amazing to see what this team has already accomplished with guys out. So just to see Paulo back in action and to see these guys continuing to grow, and the injuries, they're coming back. They're going to be a healthy team eventually. But let's get to your storylines in this game.
Right.
When you look at this Milwaukee team, what are your storylines for how they should stop them tonight to get this win?
Well, we touched on the first one, which is slow down the Bucks dynamic duo of Giannis and Dame, because those two guys leading the NBA as a duo, in points per game. They're a threat from all over the floor, and Giannis can kill you going to the basket, and Dame can kill you from the outside.
Yeah.
Then you got to take away the corner three. What creates those opportunities? Well, it's Giannis going to the basket. You try to take that away, they're going to kick it out to their outside shooters. The Bucks are the #1 team in corner three-point percentage in the NBA. And then lastly, when is this Magic team at their best? It's when they're using their defense to fuel their offense. And they got to generate turnovers, which is something they didn't do last night.
Right.
They had a season low 10 turnovers forced against Minnesota. They can't have another one of those performances. They have to force the Bucks into making mistakes and generate points off those mistakes.
Real quick, one of the things that one of the fans asked is we have to talk about Tristan da Silva as well. He was brought up in today's press conference because he mentioned he's never played with Paulo Banchero before, and because he's been the one who's been coming in since Paulo has been down. But to see the growth of Tristan so far, do you imagine a world where we could possibly see them playing together?
No, I think the thing about Tristan, as a lot of people have alluded to, is he plays a little bit like Franz,
Yes.
a young Franz. And so we've seen that duo between Paolo and Franz succeed so well. So I think Tristan's the kind of guy you could plug in any situation with any pairing, and he'll find a way to make it work. Paolo, likewise, just makes things easier for all teammates. So I expect that to be an easy transition.
For sure. Now, the upcoming schedule for the Orlando Magic looks a little tough for them as well, because tonight they will play Milwaukee, and then they'll have a couple break, and then Sunday they'll get back in action and they will play against the Philadelphia 76ers. But we're not done, because we're going to see Milwaukee again, and they will see Milwaukee Wednesday, and then they will go and take on Boston on Friday. So that is the lineup. But within this time, yes, I want to mention too, head coach Jamal Mosley said that Paolo will have minutes restrictions in tonight's game. So there will be minutes restriction for tonight's game. But this is encouraging because this team is playing some heavy hitters along the way.
No, you look at that stretch. It doesn't get much tougher than that. So you get the Bucks on the second night of a back-to-back, and then on top of that, go see them on the road. So there's going to be a lot of ways to try to slow this group down. And I think the Magic have the defensive horses to do it.
It's going to be a good one, and it's so exciting to see this team continue to grow, continue to build along with each other. And I'm excited for this game tonight, and I'm excited for what's to come for this Magic squad as they remain fourth in the East. And they've stayed fourth in the East for some time as well, Dan Savage.
No, if you would have polled a lot of even basketball executive fans, people around the league, where they thought the Magic would go, not only when Paolo went down, but then when Franz went down, where they would be, very few would have said that they'd be fourth in the Eastern Conference. But one thing that Magic head coach Jamal Mosley has preached is that regardless of who takes the floor for this team has enough. And that is not just something that's basketball coach speak. This team has implemented it into action. And if you want proof of it, it's because they're fourth in the Eastern Conference. No coach has been through more than Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. No coach has come through with bigger wins than Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. And that's why I think early on in this season, he's definitely got to be the front runner for Coach of the Year.
Has to be, Dan.
Tell me a coach who's done more with bigger challenges than Jamal Mosley. I'm waiting.
We'll wait. We'll
put
wait
it in the
for
comments.
Chat. I know. Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat. Well, thank you guys for continuing to chat with us and be able to talk to us as well. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. You guys are a wild group. I love it. People are asking what's in Mosley's. We got to get Isaac out here to tell us what's in Mosley's drink during game days.
We haven't asked that.
We haven't asked that.
We have inside sources.
We have inside sources on that one, so we'll try to get back to you on that. Thank you guys for continuing to just join in this chat and join in the conversation with us. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. But guess what? We're not done yet. What you guys can do is head over to FanDuel Sports Network and tap in with Dante Marcatelli and the gang, because we have the Magic Live pregame show on FanDuel Sports Network, your home for the Orlando Magic. That will begin at 6:30 for tonight's game. That tips off at 7 p.m. The Orlando Magic taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, the second night of a back-to-back for this team. Last and final thoughts before we let everyone go. I mean, overall, the energy so far, it feels different. It feels like Christmas.
You know what it feels like? It really feels like the opening day of the season in a way, because the media room's packed, the court's packed, fans are filling in, and everybody's asking, what is it going to look like?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what you feel on opening night in the NBA. And I think that energy is going to be great. This team's going to need it, especially on the second night of a back-to-back.
They are.
So whether you're in the building or at home, bring the energy tonight because this team could use it against a challenging opponent.
I want to say thank you again for everyone who is joining in the comments, but I also want to say let's be nice to each other in the comments as well. We all want you guys to interact and enjoy this time with us because we want to get to as many questions and as many things as possible. So let's be nice to each other in the comments as well, you guys. Everyone telling me that they are going to watch tonight. Dan, they said that you're doing an awesome job on here as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate
Those are
it.
nice comments we like as well.
Yes, more of that. More of that. Fill
More
that
of that. Let's continue to just bring good energy for this Magic squad. And you can catch us right back here again on Sunday because Courtside Countdown is something that we are doing every home game. So make sure, again, you guys subscribe to the Orlando Magic YouTube page, lock in with us because we want you guys to interact with us and we want you guys to be able to be a part of the conversation. Well, Dan, that'll do it for us on Courtside Countdown. Thank you again for watching. Magic Live, the pregame show on FanDuel Sports Network is next at 6:30 for that one, and then the game will be at 7 p.m. We are so happy that you guys could enjoy this moment with us. Thank you to our staff and team behind the scenes putting in this work to make this show amazing and happening, and we're excited for Paulo's return, Dan Savage.
Yep. Shout out Deuce. Shout out Will. Shout out Maria.
The
Shout out
gang.
everybody.
Yes, thank you guys so much for making this all happen. We will see you guys on Sunday. Enjoy tonight's game and go Magic.